Hey everyone, welcome back to H Games' channel, where we explore the world of captivating games and unravel hidden stories that leave us thinking. Today, we're diving into a dark and gripping indie game that's bound to haunt your thoughts long after the credits roll. It's called Thehole, and trust me, this is no ordinary horror game. It's a raw exploration of family trauma, guilt, and the deep scars left by abuse. But before we get started, let me ask you this. Have you ever played a game so intense that it blurred the lines between fiction and reality? Well, this is one of those games, and I guarantee, by the end of this video, you'll have chills. Now, let's unravel the layers of Thehole, a story that's more than just a game. It's a mirror reflecting the darkest corners of human behavior. Let's jump in. Thehole begins with a seemingly mundane setting, a worn-out Russian apartment building. You play as a middle-aged man whose daily life revolves around drinking beer, watching TV, and aimlessly killing time. At first glance, the protagonist seems like an unmotivated loner, but as the story unfolds, you realize there's much more lurking beneath the surface. The game's opening paints a bleak picture of your character's existence. He wakes up to the sound of a neighbor drilling into the wall, an annoyance that sets off a series of events. What seems like a harmless domestic quarrel soon spirals into a sinister tale of voyeurism, abuse, and unresolved guilt. The holes in the walls of the protagonist's apartment serve as metaphors for his fractured psyche, slowly revealing his buried secrets. Here's what struck me immediately: the realism. Unlike many horror games that rely on supernatural monsters, Thehole keeps its horrors rooted in reality. The dingy apartment, the repetitive daily routines, and the claustrophobic atmosphere are all too familiar, making the game's events feel eerily relatable. It's a slow burn, but that's exactly what pulls you in. As the protagonist investigates the noise, he discovers a hole in his wall that allows him to see into his neighbor's apartment. What starts as idle curiosity quickly becomes an unsettling obsession. Through this hole, he witnesses disturbing scenes of domestic violence, a father verbally abusing his daughter and a mother who seems powerless to intervene. One night, the protagonist is startled awake by the young girl, who knocks on his door and asks to play hide-and-seek. She explains that she wants to escape her abusive father. Despite his reluctance, he agrees. This seemingly innocent interaction becomes a catalyst for the game's descent into darkness. This part of the game hit me hard. The interactions between the protagonist and the girl are heartbreakingly authentic. It made me question, how often do we, as bystanders, ignore cries for help because we think it's not our problem? The game forces us to confront this uncomfortable reality, and I think that's what makes it so impactful. As the game progresses, the lines between reality and delusion blur. The holes in the wall multiply, the scenes the protagonist witnesses become increasingly bizarre, and his own memories resurface in disjointed fragments. It becomes evident that the neighbor's family may not even exist. Instead, they seem to be manifestations of the protagonist's suppressed guilt. In a shocking revelation, the player learns that the protagonist may have been the abuser all along. The neighbor's abusive behavior is a projection of his own past actions toward his family. This twist reframes everything the player has seen, casting the protagonist not as a victim, but as a perpetrator grappling with the weight of his sins. This twist is what sets Thehole apart from typical horror games. It's not about jump scares or gore, it's about confronting the monsters within us. The realization that the protagonist is the true villain is both horrifying and heartbreaking. It made me reflect on the cyclical nature of abuse and how unresolved trauma can manifest in destructive ways. The title, Thehole, carries multiple layers of meaning. On a literal level, it refers to the holes in the walls that allow the protagonist to spy on his neighbor. But metaphorically, it represents the emotional void within him, a chasm created by years of denial, guilt, and regret. For the young girl, the hole symbolizes the emptiness and isolation caused by abuse. Her story is a tragic reminder of the long-lasting impact of childhood trauma. Few games manage to weave symbolism into their narratives as effectively as Thehole. Every detail, from the beer cans littering the protagonist's apartment to the eerie silence of the hallways, feels deliberate. It's a game that rewards you for paying attention and invites you to interpret its meaning in your own way. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of Thehole is that it's based on true events. The game's developer revealed that it draws from their own experiences of abuse, adding a deeply personal layer to the narrative. The opening screen features a poignant message: "This is for my grandfather. F*** you, Grandpa." Sharing such a personal story takes immense courage. By turning their pain into art, the developers have created something that not only entertains but also educates and inspires. It's a stark reminder of the importance of addressing abuse and supporting survivors. At its core, Thehole is a cautionary tale. It urges players to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves and their society. It shines a light on issues like domestic violence, alcoholism, and the long-lasting effects of childhood trauma. If there's one takeaway from this game, it's this: silence is complicity. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, don't hesitate to speak up. There are resources and people who can help. Alright, that's it for today's deep dive into Thehole. This game is more than just a horror story, it's a wake-up call. It reminds us of the power of storytelling and how games can be a force for change. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, let me know your thoughts. What do you think of Thehole? Did it resonate with you as much as it did with me? Until next time, take care, be kind, and remember, every voice matters. See you in the next video. Peace.